Hello and welcome to Toya Talks Wrestling. Today we're going to talk about Raw, April 7th, 2025. But before we get into that, let me apologize for the late video on Monday. I actually recorded that in the morning and I was trying to plan out to go to the afternoon to upload it. For some reason or another, it would not upload. And I was trying my damnedest and hardest and everything else, and by the time I got it to actually load, it was probably like 7 o'clock my time or some shit like that. So yeah, I really apologize for that late video. It's making me mad, and that's why I didn't have no like title or no thumbnail or anything like that, because everything got screwed up. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. Like, I don't put that much into my videos per se. Like, most of the time I consider my videos something to be like listened to more than watched. Like, I do put like video games, or I'll put pictures of something like that, whatever. But like, when I think of me talking, I just think of me talking as like background noise to whatever it is that you guys are doing. Like, whether it's cleaning up the house or showering or washing dishes or something like that, or playing a video game or whatever, and you just listen to in the background, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. So I apologize for the late video, but that being said, let's move on. Let's go on, because this was an actually good Raw. I'm hoping that the next Raw is good too. I'm hoping all the Raws get into a WrestleMania is all good. All the SmackDowns are all good as well. But yeah, we started off with Adam Pearce in the ring with the Women's World Title, and on the little table thing with the blanket, you know, whatever, and everything else. And he introduced the Women's Champion Io Sky, then the Elimination Chamber winner Bianca Belair, and then Rhea Ripley. And he basically was saying, look, last week was my fault. Putting Bianca Belair as the referee in the match last week was my fault. I take blame and stuff like that. I thought that y'all could act like professionals, but clearly you can't. So that's on me. So I'm gonna right this wrong, and I'm not gonna make this match a triple threat match for the women's world title, which we all knew what was going to happen. Didn't know how it was going to happen. We knew it was coming, right? And Rhea's smiling because she's happy, right? Because she getting her way. And Bianca Belair is like, all right, you know what? That's fine. Great. Put her in the match. I'm glad she's in the match now, right? Because I ain't afraid of you, you know, Rhea. You think I'm afraid of you and everything else like that. Like, you know what? I earned my way into the match and everything like that. But, you know, Rhea can just open up her mouth and just whine and complain, and she gets her way. That's fine. Whatever. Put her in the match. I don't even care anymore, right? She's like, you know what? Because I won my match, even though I was pretty much distracted by, you know, Jade beating the crap out of my Naomi and everything else. Like, my two best friends were fighting each other, but you know what? I prevailed and I still won the match, right? Which, true, she was easily distracted by Jade and Naomi for sure. Like Rhea Ripley was not distracted. She was just mad that Bianca Belair was clapping for Io. That's all. There was not a distraction. Okay? Nothing like that. So anyways, and then the crowd was booing her and stuff like that. I don't know why the crowd is booing Bianca. I mean, I could just assume that it has something to do with, had nothing to do with Rhea or Io or the championship. I could probably just guess it's because, well, one, she's been wearing all black lately, and two, like, it has something to do with like Naomi and Jade. Right, I'm guessing that. Or maybe they're just thinking like, hey man, if we boo her enough, she'll have to turn heel. I don't know. But a lot of people have been booing her lately. I don't know why. I don't know. In this situation, I don't know why they're booing her, because it's like, she ain't telling no lies here. Like, she ain't telling no lies. Like, in the year of 2025, all the heels, or those that are turning heel, they're not telling no lies. Okay, none whatsoever. Maybe John Cena, I don't know. But like some of them, like Drew, not telling lies. Like Seth Rollins, when he turns heel, he ain't telling lies. Like these people are like, they're not telling lies. Anyways, I digress. She's like, whatever, right? Just I don't even care anymore. She signs the paper and she's like, right. And then Rhea Ripley talks like Bianca, and Bianca's like, shut up, Rhea. Just sign the paper. You have whined your way enough in this situation. Just shut up and sign it, right? Rhea signs and throws it at Bianca Belair. Throws a contract at Bianca, right? And then Io Sky, oh yeah, we forgot about Io Sky over here. You know, the champion, the one that y'all should be arguing with, right? She's over here trying to get a word in edgewise, and no, they both pushed her away and everything else. And she's like, she gets mad and she drops the freaking mic, right? And Adam Pearce is like, look, I'll take care of it. Just sign the contract. Just sign the contract, right? Right? And meanwhile, like Bianca Belair and Rhea, they're like talking like shit to each other and whatever. And Io's like, fuck this, I'm out, right? I'm gone, right? And she goes out the ring and she's like standing on the apron, and like Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley are facing each other and they're in their face, blah 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 blah. And then Io Sky comes from the top rope and missile drop kicks Rhea Ripley in the back, and when she did that, she pushed Rhea into Bianca, and they both like were laid out. And then Io picks up the contract. She signs it. She says something in Japanese and everything else, and she was just yelling. And she leaves the ring with her title and everything else, and blah blah blah. And she goes out there and she's high-fiving people, and people were chanting Io, 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 right? And everything else. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, Io, let them know. And I'm like, and that was the end of that segment. And I'm just like, you know what? After all this, I want Io to keep her title. Like, I need Io to keep her title, because I need Io to just shut both these big bitches up. You know what I mean? It's like, look, I would not mind Bianca Belair winning, because it's been a long time since she's had a singles title, and I would love to see it. But, you know, things kind of happen in due time. But as far as Io is concerned, like, dude, they've been treating her like second class, like third class. I'm like, she is the champion. She should be the one that you should be worried about. It's like, they're not worried about her. And I'm like, you should be worried about her. Because one, Rhea, you never beaten Io before. And like, two, Bianca's like, you know what? And it's like, if Rhea's smart, I'm not Rhea. If Io's smart, Io would just let Rhea and Bianca Belair tear each other apart and then come in for the leftovers. You know what I'm saying? Just come in for the scraps and pin one of them, right? Because you know they're going to be so involved with each other and so fucking like distracted with one another that all Io needs to do is just quick 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, pin one of them. So can't wait for this match. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Bianca Belair. Rhea Ripley just whined her way into this match. But whatever. It is what it is. It's going to be a great match. So let's move on. We had, speaking of great matches, we had a match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria defended her title against Bayley. This match was a lot better than last time they fought for the qualification match at Elimination Chamber, or for the Elimination Chamber, I should say. Great match. Oh my goodness, so good. I think it was probably one of Lyra Valkyria's best matches this year so far. It was really great. Bayley did good and everything else like that. It ended up with a quick pin when Bayley had Lyra in a submission move, but Lyra was not going to tap out, and so Bayley switched it over and tried to do her finisher, the Rose Plant, but then Lyra Valkyria did a quick pin, like a reversal, and turned it into a pin, and she got the win. She tried to shake Bayley's hand. Bayley pretty much brushed her off, but then she's like, you know what? She goes back into the ring, and gives Lyra Valkyria a hug. Now, what you guys may or may not know that this Friday, Bailey and Lyra are having a match as tag teams. They're in I think, is it a battle royale or is it a gauntlet? I don't remember. But whoever is the winner goes against Liv and Raquel for the women's titles, the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania, which more than likely it's going to be them. And they're probably going to lose at WrestleMania. I don't know. Do they turn Bailey back heel and have her go against Lyra Valkyria for that IC title? Because I think the one thing that, and I heard people say, and I agree with this, is that Lyra Valkyria does not have a good heel enemy, I guess you could say. Like, you thought it was going to be Ivy Niles, right? Which could have been great. And, but they made that so quickly and everything else. It ended so quickly, and it's like, okay, great. But she doesn't have a good, like if she is Superman, she doesn't have a good fucking Lex, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that, and she needs something like that. She needs a Joker to her Batman or something, like, because she doesn't have it. And I think that if Bailey turns heel and goes after her, that would be great. Or after WrestleMania, if they don't want to turn Bailey back to heel, like turn Becky into a heel and have her go after Lyra Valkyria. She needs something, right? She needs something. She needs that push or something like that. I don't know. But it was a great match. I really enjoyed it. Anyways, let's move on. So we saw Judgment Day on backstage, and after the announcement had been made that there would be a 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor is backstage, and he's like, I can't believe that Adam Pearce just said that, there's going to be a fatal 4-way, right? And it's great and stuff like that. And that 2 of the members of Judgment Day will be able to get that title. And Liv is like, yes, that's why I was glad that I talked to Adam Pearce, so that way whoever wins the title, it doesn't matter as long as it's back in the Judgment Day, right? And Finn's like, yes, exactly, great, right? But he starts talking to Dominic Mysterio, but a lot of people say that you don't have that killer instinct, that you probably won't win, that you're not tough enough, you're not strong enough, that you're a loser. But I don't think that. I believe in you and stuff like that, and you're going to prove it tonight when you go against Penta, because he had a match later on with Penta. But the way Finn was saying it, he was saying it like kind of like sarcastically, or just like being snarky about it, like, you know what I mean, like the opposite of what he means and stuff like that. And he pretty much leaves, and Dominic Mysterio's like, what am I going to do? And it's like, Carlito's like, don't worry about it, I got your back, whatever. So then let's just go ahead and talk about the match with Penta versus Dominic Mysterio. They had their match, and obviously Penta won. It was like, what, 8 minutes, like 7 or 8 minutes match was. Penta wins, and then Carlito and Dominic, they pretty much jumped Penta. Braun Breaker comes out, and he's like wearing no shirt and everything else. And Carlito, for some reason, must have had a death wish last night, because he goes out of the ring and like a fucking rhino and just spears the fucking shit out of Carlito. Like, I think Carlito's dead. He had a death wish. Like, I believe, like, I believe that Braun Breaker like split him in 2. Like, he's somewhere like split in 2 in Minneapolis right now. Like, seriously, I don't I don't know. Like I just don't know. Like yeah, I was like, dude, why did you leave the ring? You probably would have been safer in the ring. But anyways, and then Bron Breakker spears Dominic, and then he spears Penta, and he holds up the title, and then here comes Finn Balor from behind, and he gets Bron Breakker, and then he holds up the title and everything else, and then Bron Breakker he gets up and tries to spear Finn, and he ends up leaving. Finn ends up rolling out the ring and missing that spear. So I'm really excited. I'm glad that they're having this 4-way match. Like, I would like to see Penta win, but to cause controversy or to stir up something in the Judgment Day, I could probably also see Dominic Mysterio winning that title due to the help of Liv. Liv Morgan is going to help Dominic Mysterio win the title because Dominic Mysterio pretty much helped Liv win her women's title. So I can see Liv Morgan helping Dominic Mysterio winning that title, right? For sure. And I don't know what's gonna happen in that situation, but I can see it. Like Dominic Mysterio won't have the title for long, right? He won't have it for long. I could see Penta winning that title off of Dominic. But yeah, it should be interesting. I don't know what's gonna happen, but like I said, I would like to see Penta win, but I can also see Dominic Mysterio win that title as well, especially to cause stir in the Judgment Day. Let's go ahead and move on. He had a WWE Tag Team title match. The War Raiders went against the New Day. They had Kill Tony. What's his last name? I don't know. I didn't know him as Kill Tony. It's like the comedian or whatever. There in the in commentary with Michael and Pat and everything else. He'd say some funny shit. But anyway, he had him out there, and he was going for the New Day. Anyway, so they ended up with the disqualification when, like, a couple of times the New Day tried to use chairs, and the second time they tried to use chairs, but one of the War Raiders, I can't remember which one, grabbed the chair, and he didn't think that the ref was looking and hit Kofi Kingston with the chair, and ended up being already disqualification. So I mean, New Day wins, but the Raiders kept their titles. And then that's when New Day pretty much attacked the War Raiders, and they hit them with chairs, and then they go in there and they try to like get their necks and stuff like that. And I'm just like, necks, huh? Like they're targeting the necks. As you may or may not know, that both of the War Raiders, they both have bad necks, and they both had to have surgeries on their necks. It was like they almost lost their like careers and stuff like that. And I find it very interesting that they were targeting the neck, right? Kind of like, you know, the reason why Big E is not wrestling due to his neck, even though he didn't get surgery on his neck because it didn't require surgery, but they're targeting the neck. And I'm like, like, does this mean something, or is this like just mere coincidence? Because it's just like, as of right now, I don't know what they're doing with the New Day. Like, I don't know what they're doing at WrestleMania. I don't know what's going on. Like, something needs to happen. I don't know if this match is going to be some kind of match that's going to go towards WrestleMania or not. Not sure. Don't know what is happening. But eventually, the security comes and basically stopped him, because he at one point, Kofi Kingston put the chair around one of the War Raiders' necks, and it was going to stomp on it or whatever. But the security came and they stopped him and everything else, and they went up the rep or whatever. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's like, I found it very interesting that they were targeting the necks. I was like, I don't know if that's a coincidence. Maybe I was the only one that picked up on that. But like I don't know so either, because it's like, also before you had them going against like LWO and Rey Mysterio, and that whole segment thing dropped because I thought they were gonna do something with them and like El Grande Americano and everything else, and I don't know. But speaking of El Grande Americano, let's talk about him. So he and the Creed brothers had a match with LWO, not Ray, without Ray, the other three. Dragon Lee, Joaquin Phoenix, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Which, by the way, these guys are freaking fantastic. I wish I knew the other guy's name, but they're all fucking great. This match was fun and everything else. I really enjoyed this match. I think they need to get away from Ray as well. Just like Dominic Mysterio needed to get away from his father, I think that the rest of the LWO needs to get away from Rey Mysterio to just shine more. I don't know, but Rey Mysterio was watching and everything else, and they were doing great. This match was fun and everything else. I really enjoyed it. At one point, Ivy Niles gave El Grande Americano what you call it, something to put on in his mask, right, to load up his mask. I don't know, maybe it was like some metal plate thing or whatever. Anyways, he starts headbutting people, and like I think Rey Mysterio sees it, and then he tries to stop him, whatever, and he gets headbutted by right, and then Dragon Lee, he gets headbutted and then does the flying head off the top rope for the win and stuff like that. So El Grande Americano and the Creed brothers win. Later on, you have Rey Mysterio go into Adam Pearce's office. Adam Pearce was just finishing up talking to like Natalya and Maxine Dupree, that they're going to be part of that tag team gauntlet battle royals. I don't fucking know, whatever. They're not going to win, doesn't matter. Anyways, and he's like, Adam, right? He's like, Adam Pearce is like, I already know you as Chad Gable, right? And he's like, no, I don't want a match with Chad Gable, right? Like, I've been in this company, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I want the match with El Grande Americano. He's disrespecting the way of my people. This is not my people, the way of this, how I fight, the luchador, and everything else like that. And he's like, I need a match with him. He's like, and I need a match at a certain place, right? And he's like, what is it? And I was like, what is it? And he goes, I want a match with El Grande Americano at WrestleMania. And he's like, Adam Pearce is like, it's official. And he's like, gracias. So at WrestleMania, we have a match between El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. Now this should be a mask versus match. A mask versus mask match. Ugh. Can't say that very fast. And we should reveal who El Grande Americano is. I can't wait. They haven't mentioned that yet, but that's who should be. Because what is the point of El Grande Americano fighting Rey Mysterio if we don't see who the hell is El Grande Americano is, right? We should have that match. For sure. Anyway, let's move on. We had a backstage segment with AJ Styles was being interviewed, talking about how he's going to beat the crap out of Logan Paul at WrestleMania. And then Karrion Kross, who is Karrion Kross, and I don't know if anybody noticed this stuff, but whenever Karrion Kross is talking to somebody, he always has his hair the way they wear their hair. Think about it. Go back. Just go back and see, like, when the people he be talking to and how he styles his hair the same way. I don't know if that means anything, but someone noticed that before, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that is weird. Anyways, Karrion Kross comes in and he's like, are you going to do it? Are you going to beat him? Because this is represent all of us and everything else and everything and stuff like that. But like, I need that old AJ, that Styles and stuff like that. Here you go, and AJ's like, oh, you want the old AJ? Tell you what, I'm gonna go talk to Adam Pearce, and you'll see the old AJ next week. So next week we'll have a match between Karrion Kross versus AJ Styles, which has been a while since we've seen Karrion Kross in action. So I'm kind of excited about this. Really excited. I wish he was going on the wrestling card though, on the WrestleMania card somewhere, but I don't know. I really like Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross is awesome, and I'm looking forward to what comes in store for him, because he's too fucking good. He's too damn good. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So we had this great promo between Jay and Gunther. So Gunther comes out. He's all smiles. He's in a suit. He has like a red tie on, right? And he's smiling. He's smiling and everything else. He's just happy, right? He's just so happy that he beat the living crap out of Jimmy Uso, last week. He's smiling. He's proud of himself. He just went to that place, right? He went to that dark place and he said, that was a great place to go to, whatever, right? He didn't really say anything. He stood on the announce table, held his title up and everything else, and stepped down, grabbed a microphone, went into the ring, and as he's going into the ring, you hear Jay's music, and everybody's yeeting. Everybody's yeeting and everybody's happy except for Jay. Jay's not yeeting, which he don't need to be yeeting, because why would he yeet? He's not happy. Doesn't need to be happy. Why would he be happy? Everybody else is like, you know what? Pat McAfee's like, that's okay, Jay. We'll yeet for you. You just stay mad. I'm like, yeah, exactly, right? Jay's on his serious face, right? Jay's got his serious face on and everything else, and he goes into the ring slowly and everything else, and he's pacing, right? And he goes and he has the microphone in his hand, and he looks at Gunther and he knocks Gunther's microphone out the hand, like, you ain't talking, like you ain't saying shit. I'm doing all the talking, right? And Jay is basically like, yes, Gunther, you have a mom. Now, let me apologize, right? Because I wasn't going, when I was watching this, I was like, you know what? I am not even going to repeat what he said, but I'm going to repeat some of the things I remember. But this promo was so like emotionally good that I apologize if I fuck it up. But I'm going to repeat some of the things that stood out for me. But basically, he starts talking. He asks, Gunther, do you have a mom? And and everything else. He goes, do you talk to your mom? What do you talk about? Family stuff, the wife, her grandson, whatever. What are the things you say to her and stuff like that? He's like, I have a mom. You know what I talked about my mom last week? That her oldest son, was in the hospital with 15 stitches because he got attacked. And Jay's like, my mom said to me, why didn't you protect him, Joshua? So Jay was using his real name, Joshua. And he told her, and he told Gunther, and he told the audience, like, you know what, I never lied to my mom, and I'm not going to. He's like, because I was afraid of you, right? And basically at the end of it, he just basically said that he's no longer afraid of Gunther, and that basically, he told Gunther, he warned Gunther like the night before WrestleMania. He goes, go hang out with your family and do what you need to do with your family and stuff like that, because I'm gonna go to bed the night before and I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for you, but mostly I'm going to pray for myself. I'm going to pray for myself that I am not going to become the person who I don't want to become. Because if I become that person, you are going to be in trouble, right? Basically. So I can see this being a bloody ass match. not a bloody match, like not AEW bloody, but definitely gonna be some color in this situation, because he was like, I'm gonna be fighting for myself, for Jimmy, for my whole damn family and stuff like that. It's like, you talked about like having, like, watching Jay talked about how his heart stopped when he saw Jimmy like bleeding, and how like Gunther was like drenched in Jimmy's blood, and like he wiping Jimmy's blood all over his body and everything else like that. Like I said, I'm fucking up this whole promo, but it was really good and it was really emotional. There was no need for them to like fight each other. Jay said what he had to say. He walked out and everything else. Left Gunther kind of speechless and everything else. I'm just like, this match is going to be fire. This match is going to be fire. There's probably going to be some color. It's probably going to be brutal. I can't wait to see. A lot of people are pissed off that they're like, oh, Jay should have jumped Gunther. And I'm just like, no. He did exactly what needed to be done. Saving it for WrestleMania. Save it for WrestleMania. Save all that fucking energy, all that hate that you have for Gunther at WrestleMania. I think it's going to be great. Gunther never has any bad matches. I have not seen it. And Gunther is going to make fucking Jay shine like a fucking diamond for sure at WrestleMania. So I can't wait to see this. I'm excited. So fucking good. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So the last thing that I would like to talk about is Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. So Paul Heyman was out there and he was about to address the whole situation with the favor and Roman and Punk thing. And basically he's like, he is not going to disrespect he's not going to be disloyal to his tribal chief, and he's not going to be disloyal to his best friend. And he was about to say something else, and here comes Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins, he's like basically like asking Paul Heyman, what side are you gonna choose, right? Who are you gonna be on? Roman's side? Are you gonna be on Punk's side? He's basically saying you shouldn't be on either one of those sides because they're both are just terrible to you. Like Roman Reigns, after WrestleMania, thanks to yours truly, lost his title. And what did he do? He just left you. He left you with Solo. And what did they do to you? They tortured you. They put you through a table in your hometown. They made your children, your children watch you go through a table and everything else. Where was Roman? Roman was nowhere to be found, basically. The same thing I said yesterday in my fucking SmackDown video, by the way. And also talked about Punk. Punk wasn't there when you were in that situation, right? The only reason why Punk wasn't there to help you. And then he's like, and then Punk would help you do your favor. But you know what? Punk wasn't even the first choice. Do you want to know who was the first choice? I was asked twice, and everything else. But I said no. It was like Punk wasn't a choice. He was not the first choice. He was the only choice, right? And the only reason why Punk did what he did because he knew he could get a favor out of you from it and everything else. And he's like, you really think he cares about you? Like, Punk left 10 years ago. Did he take you with him? No. He talked about this company. He talked about the work that you did in this company, right? Basically, what Seth Rollins is doing is basically one, telling no lies between both about both Roman and Punk, but basically putting in Paul Heyman's head is like, you know what, you shouldn't trust either one of these guys. You just leave them, right? And everything else, just leave them both, right? But I know you won't do that. It's like, you shouldn't just show up. And he basically told Paul Heyman, just don't show up at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I can make it easier for you, and I can take you out, right? I can take you out. I can put you out of your misery. It'll be quick, just one stomp to the back of the head, real quick. You'll be out. You don't have to worry, and everything else like that. he starts talking about, because you know CM Punk is here to make is here to make money, not friends, right? And you know, he's like, so how much are you worth, Paul? Right, Paul, are you worth this? And he pushed Paul. Paul's getting mad. And are you worth this? And he slaps him like a little bit of slap tap. He gets, you know, and everything else. And he was about to put his hands on him again. And then Paul Heyman's like, he goes and he hits, like, he goes, tells, gets into Rollins' face and basically is like, don't you put your hands on me again. Right? I'm like, you stand up for yourself, Paul, that's it. And then, you know, Rollins is about to attack, Paul. And then finally CM Punk comes out. And CM Punk goes in there and he starts beating up on, Seth Rollins. Also, let me just add, I'm also fucking up Seth Rollins' promo as well, because Seth Rollins' promo was fucking great. Anyways, I digress. CM Punk comes out, beats up Rollins, you know, goes on the outside, and he was about to do a stomp on the steps to Rollins. Rollins crawls back into the ring. CM Punk is into the ring. When CM Punk gets to the ring, he gets stomped by Rollins. And Paul Heyman sees this. He goes down on his hands and knees, and he's trying to, like, see if his friend's alright and everything else. As this happening, Rollins is coming in. He's about to stomp freaking Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman moves, right? But Rollins could have easily have stomped Paul Heyman, right? And kind of much didn't, right? I think he missed on purpose, I'm going to say. And then he goes and he grabs the microphone and he's like, now you owe me a favor. Basically saying, I spared your life by not stomping you. And you can go ahead and walk and be in CM Punk's corner at WrestleMania. Now, I already talked about this yesterday, about how I think that Rollins should win at WrestleMania. But now, after that whole promo thing, I can totally see some sort of an alliance between Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. Again, I don't know how, but I could see how. But I don't know if it's another fucking favor we have to find out. I don't know what the favor is. I mean, the favor just could be, hey, just don't show up, right? I don't know what the favor is. I don't even know if this is like a serious favor or not. I don't know. Oh yeah, Roman Reigns was not there at all. I don't know, but I like the concept of, you know, this whole situation. And I think that, honestly, I think that Rollins could benefit the help of a Paul Heyman. And having them both turn heel, it would be fantastic. Because I like, look, maybe it's just me, but I prefer Paul Heyman heel more than I do a face. A heel manager more than a face manager, because a face don't need a manager. A face don't need a wise man. You know, they don't. And if Roman Reigns is a face, why does he need Paul Heyman? He really does. I think what Paul Heyman did for Roman Reigns was incredible, and it helped him out greatly. And I think they could do the same. I think he can do the same for Seth Rollins. I don't know how you get there. But last night in Seth's promo, I could totally see that could be a possibility where Paul Heyman is like, okay, you know, Seth Rollins made some good points, like, you know, Roman Reigns does treat me like this, and Punk only did this to so I could do him a favor, stuff like that. Like, he was hitting, like, the marks. Like, he was hitting every, like, there was no lies detected, right? We're on the more appropriate show right now. It was like, and the survey said that everything that had been said was true, right? Because there was no lies at all. So I could totally see that being a thing. And, you know, it's like, and everything else. But I don't know what the favor is. I'm pretty sure we'll find out sooner. Maybe next week. or whatever. I don't know, or at WrestleMania, whatever. I don't know, but like I said, it was a great Raw, great end of the night between Punk and Rollins and Heyman. I really enjoyed this Raw. It's very, very good. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye!